What's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here today on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Okay, so before I get into what we're going to talk about, like always, if you want a one-on-one session, you can email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send me a text message at 647-406-3057. If you want to call, just send a text to that number and just let me know that you want to talk about your narcissistic experience, and then we can more than get you the help that you need. So what we are going to talk about today is how to keep your peace post narcissistic experience. I say experience just because whether you were married to the narcissist, whether you were brought up in a narcissistic family, whether you were just in a relationship with somebody and it lasted, however long it lasted, I always like to make it known that it is an experience that you went through. Now, did you want to go through this narcissistic experience? No, we all didn't want to, but we have to understand that many are called, but few are chosen. And I say that here because when it comes down to narcissism, many people, when they've gone through the cycle, when they've come to realize that the person that they thought that they were in love with, the person that they dealt with was a narcissist, many people blame themselves and they think that they're the reason why the relationship ended, that they thought if they made more money that the person would love them more. They thought if maybe they cooked more, maybe they cleaned more, maybe if they helped with the kids more, maybe if they got a better career, maybe if they had made more love to if they did anything, it doesn't matter what it is, that they thought that the relationship would last longer, that the narcissist would somehow magically just be happy with them. Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. See, what you have to understand, wrap your head around, is that the way narcissists are in their minds is that they believe that they are infallible. They believe that they are better than everybody else. They believe that they should get everything in the world, but they don't believe that they have to do anything to get all the things that they want. And so when you wrap your head around it, when you understand that, yes, there's nothing I could have done to make the narcissist happy, I couldn't have done anything else. When you wrap your head around that and you understand that, then I can assure you that life just gets a lot better. Now, when it comes down to after the fact, after the experience, after the relationship, after the marriage ends, I understand that it's hard because I myself have been there. When my marriage to my ex-wife ended, you know what I mean? Like I'm a bit different than most people because my experience is a little different in the sense that some people, it takes them a long time, a lifetime to heal. And then other people, if you're like me, we're not all the same. If you were lucky enough with me, like me, then you would have moved on from the relationship the moment it ended. See, my life is thriving now. My life is much better. You know what I mean? I'm living my best life. I'm doing the things I love. I'm tapping into the things that I've been called to do. You know what I mean? And that's because, once she left, I realized that I was worth much more. That wasn't the relationship I thought it was, but it was the relationship, the marriage that it was. And that's what you're going to have to understand post-narcissistic relationship and experience, that it wasn't what you wanted it to be. See, that's why people blame themselves, because they're thinking that they could have done more. But what you have to realize is that the narcissist, they're not a normal toxic person, like an everyday person that, you meet them and you guys just have a falling out and you realize that this relationship isn't working out. And then you guys just move on. You break up or you move on to different things or different places. And then you've moved on. Life is fantastic. It doesn't work that way with the narcissist. Narcissists have what is known as, and I mentioned this in one of my recent videos, if you watch it, they have what's known as narcissistic personality disorder. And this disorder, guys, is the reason why the narcissist does the things that they do. It's also the reason why you are going to have to do some sort of healing when this relationship ends. Now, Again, it depends on who you are. It depends on your relationship. Some people, it's going to take a while for them to heal. Some people will heal tomorrow. Like, we can't tell each other when we're going to heal, unfortunately. That is dependent on what relationship, what type of narcissist you dealt with. It depends on who you are as a person. It all depends. There's many different factors. I can't tell you when you're not going to heal. Right? All I can tell you is that it all depends on the experience that you had. Now, when it comes down to the narcissistic relationship, I want to talk now specifically about getting your peace, keeping your peace when the experience is over. How you keep your peace is, and I mentioned this to one of my people whom I coach and help, is that you have to make sure that you're doing things that you enjoy. I cannot stress this enough. Now, I understand if the relationship just ended recently, I can understand that's probably the last thing you want to hear, perhaps. But what I'm saying is that you have to start doing things that make you happy. Or if you don't want to do those things, think about things that make you happy, right? Whether that is going to the gym, whether that's gardening, whether that's going to watch shows in theater, whether it's, I don't know, going to church, whether it's going to mosque, whether it's going to the store, whether it's going for walks, whether it's going for walks in nature. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's drawing, whether you're an artist, or whether you love the news. I don't know. Whatever it is, right? You have to start doing things that you enjoy, because when you do things that you enjoy, the thought of the narcissist, it starts to dissipate. It's almost like the narcissist think of the narcissist as a dark cloud above you, right? Every time, the further you get away from the narcissist, the more that dark cloud starts to slowly dissipate. And again, and I mentioned this again, it really depends on you. It depends on the relationship that you had. It depends on the narcissist that you dealt with, right? There's so many things that come into play with healing, guys, and I can't stress this enough. But what I'm talking about, specifically for this video, is that when it comes down to getting your peace, keeping your peace, you have to do things that you enjoy and focus on those things too. Make those things the center of your life. Or whether that's even spending time with your kids, loving your kids. Do the things that you enjoy, and don't let anybody tell you that you cannot enjoy your life doing those things. Another thing that I wanted to mention, and this is very important, and some of you may believe it, others of you may not. It all depends on your belief system. Another thing I impose, and another thing I've been trying to mention to people is, when it comes down to getting your peace back, what I want to suggest is that you guys take a moment and open up the Bible and just read it. I can't stress this enough. Now, I understand not all of us are religious. Not all of us, love the Bible, know about the Bible by any means. Some of us, because of our upbringings, we all have different upbringings. We all have different things about us that some of us would never want to open the Bible. I get that. I understand that. But I'm just saying that there's a certain type of peace that you get from opening the Bible, the Holy Bible. There's a certain peace that comes with it. And I'm telling you guys from experience, if you just take a moment, just open up the Bible and just start reading it, you may even find something in there when you turn to it, and you may find it interesting, like, oh, that's interesting. And then you're going to want to read another page, and another page, and another page, and another page. And then before you know it, you're going to end up reading the whole entire Bible. Because the thing is that you have to keep in mind that with the narcissistic experience, it is a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual warfare between good and evil, between God and Satan. Because you have to remember that everything started in the beginning, in the Bible, in the beginning, right? The fact that we are still alive today, the very fact that we're human beings, that started in the Bible from the beginning. That man was made, that woman was made from man, right? That whole thing, it starts from the beginning, right? And so the spiritual warfare between good and evil, it started from the very beginning. When Satan is the first narcissist. That's why when we say narcissist, we're usually referring to the devil, Satan himself, because he was the first narcissist. In the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve sinned in the Garden of Eden, that was because God told them not to eat that fruit. In the Bible, God said, do not eat of, you can eat of every other fruit in the garden, but not that fruit of that tree of knowledge and good and evil. Don't eat that fruit, or else you will surely die. But then see, the devil, Satan, he came along and he told Eve, if you eat this fruit, not only will you live longer, but you will also be better than God. You will be above God. You will be God. So if you think about it, narcissism, it started from the very beginning. And I made a video on narcissism has always been around from the beginning. You should go and watch that video because it's true. It's always been around, guys. And what I'm saying is that you need to wrap your head around the fact that it's a spiritual battle, right? And that's why many people, and I mentioned this in one of my other videos, many people, when it comes down to the narcissistic experience, many people are broken to their core. Why do you think that is? The reason why is because, remember, many of us are physically strong. Many of us are mentally strong. Many of us are socially strong. Many of us are strong in all the other ways, in all the different ways. But the problem, see, is that many of us are not spiritually strong. And that's why the narcissist crushes many people to their core, even though many of those people were strong, like physically strong, because the spiritual warfare, the spiritual exchange, your spiritual part of you is not strong. And so, guys, so again, I want to reiterate what I said. The first way to get your peace post narcissistic experience is to do things that you enjoy. Focus on things that you love doing for a change, okay? I don't know what those things are. That is up for you to decide. Focus on things that you love. That's number one. Number two, open the Word of God. Open the Bible. Read it. Start reading it. And you will start to feel something different. I promise you that. Because remember, guys, it is a spiritual warfare. The narcissistic experience, it's a spiritual warfare, a battle between good and evil. And if you're watching this video, chances are you are an empath, somebody who's good, or somebody that wants to do good, right? But in order to understand what good is, you have to start from where good even comes from. And where does good come from? Where do all good things come from? They come from God, because He created this world. And if He created this world in 7 days, and He created you in His own image, then that means He must know what's good for you and what's not good for you, right? Okay, so that's what it is, guys. So these are the ways that you get your peace back post-narcissistic experience. This is how you do it. Now, am I saying that once you do these things that your life is going to improve instantly? No. It's going to take time. You have to take it one day at a time. You can't just think that you're going to be better in the snap of a finger. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. If it was that easy, everybody that went through the narcissistic experience, they would be healed tomorrow. Their lives would be back to normal tomorrow. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, see. You've got to do your works, right? It's got to start with you. And you can't blame anybody else except for you. Now, the narcissistic relationship, the fact that you got into it, was it your fault? No, it wasn't your fault. Because you didn't know about narcissism. You didn't know that people could lie to your face. You didn't know that somebody could be wanting to destroy your life on purpose, knowing that they, in the back of their head, know what they're doing. You didn't know that this type of behavior existed to this extent. You knew that there was toxicity, that there were people that hated people, that there were people that wanted, not what was good for people. Yes, but you didn't realize that evil existed to this extent, where people flat out tell people to their face that they want to kill them, right? Pretty much. So yeah, guys, I hope that this video helped you out. If you want a one-on-one session, you can email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text message at 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you just need help trying to figure out where the person you're dealing with is a narcissist, or you just want to talk about things, I'd be more than happy to give you the help that you need. Please, I put a link to my podcast in every video. I put a link to the podcast I spoke on about my narcissistic experience. I encourage all of you to watch it so that you can understand my experience and that you can understand how I overcame and how I made it out unscathed and what the things I did to make it through. I know that it'll help out many of you. And I also encourage you guys, to take good care of yourselves. Right, really watch my videos, even start from the beginning, and really wrap your head around what narcissism is at its core. And I hope to see you on the next video. So thank you so much for joining me here, and take care until next time.